which is just fabulous.
You reminded me, so.
Oh,
I started.
good. Well, good. So do you want to, I'm just gonna ask Cynthia, do you think the people that you've invited are pretty much here? Should we get
Yes.
started?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, good. Okay. Well, I mean, Cynthia, we're just so grateful to have you. And she's the author of The Land of Ampersand. And I asked her in the beginning, well, what is? She's like, look at your keyboard. Look at the number 7. There is a sign above it. That's what ampersand is. So it's the land of Ampersand, where imagination runs wild. She won a national award for her book this year, 2022. And in Barnes and Noble and Chesterfield, for those of us who live in the St. Louis area, you'll know the Chesterfield area, they have her book in stock. And it shares the shelves with some of Cynthia's heroes. She is, isn't that great? I wonder, Cynthia, and you could probably tell everybody after the introduction, if somebody goes to their local Barnes and Noble in Connecticut or LA or wherever they're at, Texas, maybe they can just order it, but you'll tell us that maybe soon. Okay. So going back to Cynthia, she's also an award-winning mixed media artist and a creative entrepreneur known as the communication architect. Throughout her thought-provoking and whimsical work, she combines art, logic, and structure to inspire and entertain the viewer. By generating more harmony and joy in the world, she hopes to motivate social reform. Cynthia naturally looks to the future, confronting traditional ideas by tapping into her instinct for embracing change and seeing possibilities. She also champions women's rights and is a good friend to many. Please help me welcome Cynthia Corral.
Oh, thank you, everyone. I feel so blessed to see all of your faces, and I know Joyce just came from pickleball, so she is not on the screen, but she's with us from Atlanta. So I just thank all my friends. I'm sure you're maybe a little tired of hearing about the land of Ampersand by now, but I'm going to talk about some things that I haven't shared as much. And I'm hoping that those of you who are working on creative projects, maybe these lessons that I've learned will help you with your projects. I certainly hope so. And then, so I'm going to share a short slide presentation that I put together, and then we'll think about any questions that come up. And so at the end, we'll do a Q&A. And also I'm going to have a drawing at the end to give away a copy of course, The Land of Ampersand. So even if you already have a copy, you can use this one as a gift for someone with the holidays coming up. So first of all, I have an announcement to make. Today is National Ampersand Day.
Oh my God.
Can you believe it? I just learned about
That's
this last
amazing.
week. And so the synchronicity, you know, Karen, I mean, all of us talk about synchronicity all the time, right? Who would have thought I would be giving this presentation on National Ampersand Day? So, okay, we're going to celebrate. So I'm going to pull up my screen.
While you're pulling that up, I want to make sure everybody knows I've muted just for background noises, but when we get to Q&A, we'll undo that.
Can everyone see?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So as I mentioned, on reflection about my book, I've learned some things that I wanted to share with you. And they're really kind of three big ahas that I've had. And so I'm going to step through those and tell you some stories and then look forward to any questions you might have. So the first thing is, some of you might not know, a rare few of you may not know too much about my book. It's a little coffee table book of 60 images that I created around the and symbol, which is called the ampersand. And it's 6.5 by 6.5 inches. It's all color, 140 pages. I published it last year in November, and I published it through Ingram Spark, which means it's available to be ordered from any bookseller, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, all the independent booksellers. And I hired Kathy Davis and her firm to help me with all of that technical part of it. So they did a great job with the Library of Congress number, the formatting for the printing and all, and getting set up on Ingram Spark. The book right now is available at all of the Barnes and Nobles in the St. Louis area on the shelf. It's also available at Novel Neighbor in Webster Groves. And this fall, Christopher's Gift Shop will be stocking my book, and they will be hosting a holiday book signing event. So I'm very excited. Anyway, those are just some little background things. So let's take a look at my big ahas. So the first one, the first lesson I want to talk about is goals versus process. So as I talk about these big ahas, they're really things that, issues that I came across that I've kind of struggled with. And you might be surprised to know that I never intended to create a book. So last year, when I think I decided to take some art classes, it is what kind of led up to creating the book. But what I want to share with you is, as you're working on your creative project, many times we set goals, but also it was so important, I think, for myself to be open to the whole process. So I'm going to tell you about my process, and maybe you'll see some parallels. So this is where the magic happens. This is my dining room that I turned into an art studio. And last year in January, I decided to take an art journaling class. And so I had a little watercolor book that was a journal, and every day the goal was to create something in my journal. Like for me, I needed a theme, and that really helps me. And so I decided every day I was going to do some sort of image about the sun. And as the communication architect, of course, what I quickly learned was my painting wasn't finished until I gave it a caption. So something I learned about myself in this process is that I love images, I love art, but I also love words, and I love using them together. So the title of this piece is Sun Cognito. So eventually I finished my journal of all the suns, and I was posting occasionally on Instagram. I just had a few family and friends on my Instagram. And then I wanted to start another art journal, but I didn't know what I wanted the theme to be. And of course, a few years ago, I had purchased this 3-dimensional ampersand that reminded me how much I love the ampersand shape, the symbol, but also the meaning of the ampersand, because it means inclusivity. It creates community. It actually combines opposites. And so it just gives me a thrill when I think about the ampersand symbol, both visually and the meaning of it. So I decided that would be my next theme for my art journal. And then I was also intrigued with all the different fonts that are out there and how so many of them have done these artistic interpretations of the ampersand. Because originally the ampersand, the meaning of it comes from a Latin phrase that it was abbreviated to ET. And then from ET, it became the symbol that we have on our keyboard. So there's more about that in my book. I won't go into that right now. So I was posting my ampersand images on Instagram and getting positive feedback and really enjoying the interaction, the accountability. I wanted to do an image each day. Sometimes I would skip a day and sometimes the next day I would do 2. But I was pretty, I really got in the habit of doing it and enjoying it. And I've been asked a few times, how did I come up with all these different ideas? And the thing that motivated me is related to a poem that I remember from my childhood. Does anyone remember the poem, the book, Now We Are 6 by A.L. Milne? He did all the Winnie the Pooh.
Yes, yes.
And so the poem that meant so much to me was the poem Sneasels. And what I love about it is this last line, now how to amuse them today. So this is how the poem ends. Christopher Robin has all these symptoms and he gets all the adults in his world scurrying around trying to figure out, how to care for him. And the poem ends, Christopher Robin got up in the morning. The sneasels had vanished away. And the look in his eyes seemed to say to the sky, now, how to amuse them today? And that is kind of my mantra. So as I'm working on images in my art journal, I would think about what I did yesterday and the day before. What can I do that's completely different? And how can I amuse my audience the next. So eventually I finished another journal, okay? And then I thought, okay, I need to move on. What's my next theme? Well, I could not come up with another theme. I kept thinking about things and I even started a few drawings and nothing clicked. Finally, one of my good friends said, I enjoy your paintings so much. How about, have you ever thought of creating a little coffee table book? Well, I just loved that idea. Instantly, I knew that's what I wanted to do. And that's kind of what I want to relay to you, is that sometimes as, it's great to have goals. Sometimes if we follow our process, in my experience with the ampersand journaling, I was just having fun. I was just following my joy. And yet I recognized different things that popped out. So one was finding the ampersand symbol that I had on the shelf. Another was listening to my friend who suggested creating this coffee table book. Because when I get input like that, what I like to do is say to myself, is that something I wish I thought of? And if it is, then I know it's kind of my litmus test that it's something that I really want to follow through with. So that's what happened. And with the goals versus process, I really found myself just following a process, and I'm hoping this will help all of you think about as you're working on your projects, you know, maybe there's something in the moment, some outside inspiration that will help you move forward with your creativity. Okay, so that's enough for that aha. The next one is serious versus fun. So now that I knew I wanted to create a book, this was the hard part, figuring out how to actually get my journal turned into an actual book. And there were some things that were really easy and some things that were really difficult. So first of all, the title was really easy. That came to me right away. And even the subtitle came to me right away. The Land of Ampersand, Where Imagination Runs Wild. I'm not sure how it came to me. It just did. I was thinking about, I have 60 images. How can I package that? And then I loved the sound of the Land of Ampersand. It just had a nice ring to it. The second thing that happened was I designed the cover. That came to me really quickly too, because I wanted to have the cover be a sampling of what was inside. So the actual page layout happened really easily also, because I knew I didn't want the caption to be on the same page as the image. I wanted them to be separate so that the reader could kind of take in each of them separately and think about how the words and the image go together. So it's more of an experience. And then, of course, we wanted to have heavier paper so it wouldn't bleed through. So here's just a few of the pages. This one, most of the images are watercolor. And this is an example of some of the collage images that I did. So then all of that was relatively easy and flowed. Then I got to the hard part, which was kind of like this light bulb. I had these playful images, and for some reason, I got it into my head that I needed to have this very serious scientific packaging around the images. And so I actually made appointments with 3 different marketing and branding consultants. And I talked to each one of them about how I needed them to figure out the serious meaning of my book and the messaging and you know, help me articulate that so the viewers would really get it. And the more I talked to these folks, the more they were taking me down a path of, well, you really need to start with the pain. You have to get in touch with the pain. And suddenly one day I realized, wait a minute, that's not me. That's just not me. And I realized that I had forgot that I just wanted to have fun. And as soon as I had that big aha, that I just wanted to have fun. I just wanted my readers to have fun. That's when everything came together for me. I didn't need any assistance. The writing came very quickly and easily. And so that was such a great lesson for me. I'll show you, I'll give you some excerpts of some of the writing that's also in the book. So instead of an introduction, I decided to call it Your Self-Guided Tour Begins Here. And so the land of ampersand, at first I was thinking, how can I make this kind of a fantasy world like a lot of the movies and novels that are so popular out there? But I don't read or watch any of those. What I realized is I love the whole concept of vacation and traveling. And that's when I got the idea of the self-guided tour. And so I started referring to the ampersands as the inhabitants and talking about the world of ampersand, the world of possibility, positivity, and playfulness. And then below here, I talked about the origin of the ampersands, their history, dating back to Roman times when the spoken phrase "and per se and" was shortened to "and then the letters ET. And then I talked about the DNA of the ampersand. So it's really having fun with the introduction and setting the tone of the book. At the end of the book, I did a summary beyond the land of ampersand. And I told the reader, you're officially awarded a lifetime ticket for you, your family, and your friends to visit and revisit whenever you like. So to me, that was suggesting that the reader could share the book, could go back and revisit it. And I've actually been getting feedback from people that they do just that. I talked about the rules of improv, where they always advise you to replace the word but with yes and. And then I talked about going forward to continue to experience and share the feelings of inclusion and positivity and joy, et cetera, et cetera. So I hope you can see that, it flowed from my heart once I got in touch with the idea that I really just wanted to have fun. And then finally, I included this section, which was so much fun. And this is your turn for ampersand watching. And so I invite the reader, now it's your opportunity to engage in the timeless sport of ampersand watching. With a bit of quiet and patience, it's easy to catch an ampersand in action. When you spot one in your mind's eye, you are invited to record it here. Let your imagination run wild. No previous experience necessary. Just grab a pencil, paintbrush, or pen and begin. So that was so much fun to create that. And then on the back cover, I stole a line from Ferris Bueller. The last line in the cover says, "Are you still here? Go ahead, proceed within. Your lighthearted and rejuvenating adventure awaits." And so the more fun I had, the easier it came together. So that was such a great lesson for me. Okay, so the last big aha was an issue I had around authentic versus perfect. And I think you can see from this page from the book that this painting is not perfect. In fact, it's got lots of smudges and it's pretty messy. And this was such a departure for me because when I first started developing myself as an artist these last couple of years, my challenge was that I had come from the marketing world and doing client work where everything I felt like everything had to be perfect. And then I started getting back in touch with doing creative work for myself. And I realized that when it was perfect, it didn't have my personality in it. I came to really enjoy doing work that was a little messy. And for me, that translated to maybe being more spontaneous with my work. And so this whole experience has helped me look at what is my authentic self. Well, it's definitely not perfect. It's the imperfect that I really enjoy. The wordsmithery that I mentioned, I think the words are so important to me as I develop art. And then, of course, all the playful and upbeat and whimsical, that's all part of it too. So one of the books that had a huge impact on me was Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. In this book, she talks about how so many of us, as we're working on creative projects, we're really looking to find something or to do that's original. We're wanting to create something that's original. And she talks about how that's a big mistake. We don't need to go after originality. We just need to be authentic. And because when we're authentic, that is the original. That is our originality. So if we start with looking at what our own quirks and idiosyncrasies and gifts and talents and all of those things, then that's how we will shine. So the result of all of these big ahas and following the process and getting in touch with my authentic self, it's all led me to receiving an award this spring, a national award, and getting these wonderful reviews from people. I've posted those on my website now. And this has been such a gift in my life. And the book has really been my legacy. I never set out to create the book to make money, but I just love the fact that it brings people joy, and that's the most important thing to me. So I hope there might be a few ahas for all of you in some of my lessons and some of the things I've learned. I invite any of you to contact me by phone or email or check out my website. If you want to talk more about the creative process, I'm always available and would love to help. And let's see, I think it's time for some Q&A.
That was just really so imaginative. I thank you so much, Cynthia. That was just fabulous. I'm going to listen to the replay. So if you have a question, either physically raise your hand or go to the reactions icon on the bottom and raise your hand so that Karen knows to unmute you.
I think they're unmuted. Are you guys, can you talk? Okay. Carol, let's go to you first.
So, hi, Cynthia. Hi. Is Ingram Spark, is that a self-publishing company? It's is it print on demand? Is that what it is? Or what kind of company is that?
It's a distributor. So all of the bookstores, when they want to order my book, like if you go on Amazon and order my book, Amazon orders it from Ingram Spark. And when they do that, every time somebody orders from Ingram Spark, I get a very small royalty. And then if I want copies that I want to give away or sell to local stores, then I order them from Ingram Spark at a discount, but you know, for a fee. So it's, I other than that, I'm not sure. I know the book, like when you go on Amazon, I know you can publish, they have a publishing arm where you can publish your book and you can set it up that way. But when you do that, then the book is not available to other booksellers. So my intention from the very beginning was I wanted it to be available from all.
Okay.
Nancy, did I unmute you? I'm still trying to
did.
figure this. Okay.
You did. Hello.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi. Yeah, just how long was the process from the time you did your first painting to the time it was published? How long did that take?
I started in March with the first painting and I published the book in November,
Nice.
which
Thanks.
is really unheard of
Yeah.
to create and publish a book in that short of time. But that was another, for me, that was told me again that by following my process, you know, I just believe spiritually in following your heart and your joy, and that's when things really flow. So that was my reward, I think, for doing that.
I was going to say, Cynthia, the flow. You were in the flow. Without you didn't have an intention to do the book, but you were in the flow.
Yes.
Mike, do you have a question or a comment?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I did have a question. First of all, Cynthia, you know, I love what you're doing. It is so you. It's incredible. You know,
Thank you.
And the end result is so professional looking. My question to you is, did you, as far as goals and process go, did you have a project in mind? Did you actually follow a project plan? Did you have a definite timeline that you were working with, or was this created from the very beginning to the end?
So I started the art journal in March, and at that time I had no idea about publishing a book. When I finished the journal, it's when I got the idea of the book. And I think it was in July is when I hired Kathy Davis to help me with the technical pieces. And they were really waiting on me because I scanned in all the images. I had to write the material. I had to give them all the content. And that's what I struggled with for probably a couple of months. It's kind of crazy looking back on it now, but finally, you know, I got it done, and that's what I was hoping to actually publish the book earlier, so I'd have more of the holiday season.
Right.
But it was the middle of November when I finally published.
Great, thank you.
Carol, did you have another question? Karen, did you have a question? Karen Libby?
Can I ask if you're working on anything else?
You know, I get that question a lot. And at first, when people asked me that, I thought, well, no, I'm not working on anything else. You know, I'm just, I'm done with books. And then just about a month ago, I came up with an idea for my next book. And so I'm really excited about it. I've started showing some of the images on Instagram. And so this book has a theme, but it's different from the ampersand. So the way I see the world is that so many of us are stressed out because we're all trying to keep up and go too fast. So this book is all about slowing down. And the working title is Slow Up. And so the first image is about the tortoise, of course, who won the race, because that's what happens when you slow up. And then the next one of the next pages is a painting of an orange, and it says, "Contemplate your navel." So that's kind of the flavor. And if any of you want to send me a message with your email, I'm going to start doing a weekly email blast. And it's called I have a 4-footed fan. Anyway, so I'm doing this email blast, and it's called the Smile Club. And so once a week, I'll be sending you some excerpts from my ampersand book and the new book and other things that I'm working on. So if you're interested.
Love it.
Oh, let's do, we're going to give away one of my books.
Yeah.
And the way I would like to do this is, today is National Ampersand Day. Does anyone have a birthday today? Okay, who has a birthday close to today? Anyone in September? A Mike?
Mine's the 22nd of September.
Okay, 22nd. Nancy, when is yours?
August 7th. So mine was last month.
Okay, so I think anyone else, August, September? So I think Mike, Nancy, does that sound right? I think Mike is closer to today than August 7th. So Mike, I'll be sending you, I have your address, and I'll be sending you a copy. And if you already have a copy, please gift it to
I
someone.
will. Thank you, though. What a surprise. I won something.
Hey.
Well, I just want to thank everyone for being on the call today. And a special thanks to my friends and relatives who've just been constant support to me through this whole project. And I love seeing new faces. I hope we'll be able to connect.
Sparkle actually has a question. Sparkle?
I just have a quick question. Good morning. Oh, your book is beautiful. What
Thank
an
you.
inspiration. How fun, really. I enjoyed your presentation. Thank you. My question is just with using Ingram Sparks, do you retain your, do you have rights, all the rights to your book, or do they own the rights?
No, no, it's copyrighted. I have a Library of Congress number. And it was published, the publisher is actually my own company. It's called Jump for Joy Press.
Okay.
So-
Awesome. And you just went through Ingram Sparks to publish it or to distribute it, you said?
Yes, they're the print on demand house. That's who they are.
I wanted, Joyce said,
Catherine? Catherine? Oh,
Joyce said, thanks for sharing. Anyone
thank
else?
you, Joyce.
Anyone else with a comment or a question?
I
Catherine,
want to know how to get a signed copy.
Jenny
oh,
Grace.
they're actually, let's see, who was asking that question?
Jenny Grace.
Yes,
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Jenny.
Yeah.
Well, if you go to Chesterfield Barnes and Noble, I have signed those copies and there's stickers that
Oh,
say author signed. And I'm planning to go to the other Barnes and Noble to do that.
oh, let us know.
And
Yeah.
then, of course, Jenny, just, next time I see you, I can, we can arrange that. So,
I'd like to just share from someone who has known Cynthia for a long time, not as long as her high school friend or grade school, high school friends and family, but
What about me?
but watching,
yes,
I've known her the longest.
but watching her grow and bloom and share, I mean, she's been a delightful friend, just so positive. In fact, I was sharing with Jenny Grace today that one of my favorite things that comes out of her mouth is, it's perfect, or that's perfect, instead of, everything that's wrong. She'll, if I'm changing an appointment, that's perfect. And the energy that emits is beautiful. So Cynthia,
Thank
you're
you.
just a beautiful human being inside and out. And I want to thank
It's-
you for all you gave, you know, in time and energy and, you know, financial to Gateway. We appreciate you.
I do too. It's the positivity and the love that she gives to everybody.
Yes.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Melody, thank you. That's my sister, everyone.
Oh, how
I love you too. Catherine has a question. You're on mute, Catherine.
Can you tell me about your Jump for Joy press? I missed the first part, my apologies.
Oh, that's okay. So Jump for Joy Press is actually when you self-publish a book, you have to come up with a publishing name, like a publishing company name. So again, you know, at first I thought, well, I have to think about something serious. And then I realized, well, I just wanted to have fun. That's when Jump for Joy Press came to me. And of course, the URL was available. So now I have that URL pointed to my website. So that was important too. So basically it was just filling in a blank and finding a name that where I could get the URL as well. And I just love the name. I mean, it just kind of came to me again, the way divine inspiration comes.
We need a picture of you jumping for joy.
Okay,
So
Karen.
Carol has a question, Mary has a question, and Lady E has a question. Let's start with Carol.
Okay, this is another question, sorry. For those of us who aren't as talented art-wise as maybe Cynthia and other people on the Zoom meeting are, I'm not an artist. Does Ingram Sparks, like, you know, do they publish other types of books? Like, you know, I'm more into mystery novels, murder mysteries, you know, the Agatha Christie type, you know, type thing. Do you know, Cynthia, if it is strictly art, or are there other types of, you know, materials that you can self-publish?
It's all types of books. It's
I have a business book called Context, Connections, and Collaboration. It's any and everything.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
yeah.
Okay, then it was Lady E and then Mary, right? Okay, Lady E. Enezer.
Okay, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I am happy to say that as of yesterday, my book was, well, it was supposed to be live and people were supposed to get their books in the mail, but it'll be Saturday. But anyway, I did it. I got it done.
Yay, Lady E.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm uber excited. But my question is, how did you, I have it's like a one sheet or what they call a sell sheet that the company did. Well, I had them to go in and do it for me because I wasn't trying to do all of that. So what's the approach to Barnes and Noble and bookstores to get them to put my books on their shelves?
Where do you live? Are you in St. Louis?
Yes, I'm in Chesterfield.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
So people have been asking me this, and you know, it's I have to laugh at my answer is I just ask.
Okay.
So what I discovered about Barnes and Noble is I went in there a few months ago. There is one buyer for all the Barnes and Nobles here in the region. So I went in, when I went in and I sent her, I got her email by going into one of the stores.
Mhm.
And then I emailed her, but I never heard back. And last week I went back to ask them again. And I had a copy of my book and they said, oh, we have that book on the shelf. And I was dumbfounded, you know.
Awesome.
So, and then I went over to West County Mall. They have the book also. So I think all of them have the book. I also I'm working on a possibility of getting the corporate Barnes and Noble interested in my book because they use the ampersand in their logo. And you may have noticed some of their signage in the store and some of their bags have ampersands on them. So the other thing that I've been doing, because, and this would be good timing for you too, because the holidays are coming up. I'm going into gift stores now to see if they will, like Christopher's in Kirkwood, agreed. They wrote back and they said they would love to carry my book. And they said, would you mind if we do a holiday book signing event? And I'm thinking to myself, is this a trick question? You know? So you never know what, just ask, ask.
Thank you. Thank you.
If you want to talk more about that offline, I'd be happy to.
Okay, thank you.
Mary.
Hey, hi, yeah. Well, thank you, Cynthia, for sharing your creativity and your positivity with us. You've
Thank
been
you.
such a great friend, and it was a great presentation.
Thanks.
So I just want to tell you that. And also, when is your book signing in Kirkwood?
We don't have a date yet. So they said they would let me know hopefully this week. But believe me, I will be spreading the news.
Okay, good.
Cynthia,
I want to know when it is.
Cynthia,
Thank you.
Cynthia, for anyone that's on the call, just go to Cynthia's Facebook page and let her know, just say, let me know when that book signing is or something so that she can make sure to reach back out to those that might not be connected now.
Good idea.
Anyone else that would like to share some love or ask a question? There's been some great questions and hopefully you've had a good time on this call. We went a little over, but hopefully you just enjoyed it. And
Catherine,
We
do
did.
you have a question?
Tell me a little bit more about marketing.
So marketing is definitely a challenge. And I think, too often authors think, well, I'll publish a book and I'll make a lot of money. And really it's more, I think publishing a book is more about adding credibility and adding value to what you're already doing. Being a published author and then getting the national award, I mean, it's all, it's been more of a legacy for me than a financial kind of thing. So the marketing, I've been kind of do-it-yourself kind of marketing. When I first published the book, I could have hired someone to help me stage it so it would be a national bestseller on Amazon or something like that. I mean, there are consultants out there that'll help you with that. And I'll tell you, this is so silly, you're gonna laugh, but I didn't want at first, I didn't want that sticker that they put on the book to mess up my cover. So I just decided that, and also I was kind of, by that time, it was like October, I was in a hurry to publish the book before the holidays. So, but in terms of marketing, it's really, I get emails from people all the time, companies that say, you can pay us and we'll get the word out about the book. I think, I've given away a lot of books to families and friends, but I've also sold a lot of books too. So I just like the idea of getting the word out there. And I don't think I'm really answering your question very well, Catherine, but I'll be happy to talk to you more about it offline.
Thank you.
You're also being authentic with am I still muted?
No.
No, you are. You are also being authentic with your marketing. You're not looking to do this big direct mail thing. I kind of feel like your marketing is joy. It's like, how do I spread joy?
Yeah.
Locally, Bob Baker has a book, and I was gonna look it up on my phone, but his book is about like 52 ways to market your book. And they're going to be guerrilla marketing.
Forgot about that. Thank you.
Yeah, Bob Baker, Market Book. He's local here. He's been brilliant. He's also very brilliant on his followings and
Yeah, he's very, very cool guy.
yeah. So I don't see it. I just was gonna glance and see if I saw it. I can post it on here later. But the other thing that I want to share is for Gateway to Dreams, when we started the nonprofit magazine called Be the Change, one of the things we wanted to share were authors, because people dream about writing a book. And then, as Cynthia said, the book is done, and then what do you do? So we actually created a section in our magazine for authors that we feel is very affordable, $125, $100 if you're a member. And we show the cover of your book, a picture of you, because we believe in personal connections. The cover of your book is not enough. I want people to connect with people here, and it's only for St. Louis. So, you know, that's one of the things we want to do. We also really want to help book clubs know about local artists. How many book clubs are out there where somebody will suggest a title? Well, what if it was a local person and you have them on Zoom or invite them to your book club? You know, so that's just our little world of Gateway to Dreams that we want to help.
Just one more quick word about Barnes and Noble. What happened last year is that they used to be a top-down organization. They decided to give the stores more independence in choosing what to stock for their readers locally. And so I think that's a real plus for all of us local authors. When I went into Barnes and Noble, they gave me the royal treatment. They said, oh, if you go get your books off the shelf and bring them to the desk and sign them, we'll put these stickers on that say author signed, you know, beautiful gold sticker. They said, we'll put you on. They posted picture of me signing on their Instagram. They said, we love local authors. So
Wow, that's great to know.
Now I'm following up with them about doing a book signing holiday event at Barnes and Noble. And the manager just wrote back to me and said he thinks it's possible. He wants to consult the other store managers first. And so I'm thinking, oh, wait a minute, what kind of event is he thinking of? So it could, you know, sometimes opportunities turn out to be bigger than we imagine.
Kathy Babis, you had your hand up.
Yes, I am right now putting the link to Bob's book in the chat. If anybody wants to, putting a link, you can get it on Amazon, you can get it other places.
Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Anything else, Jenny? Anything else we need to cover?
Wow. This is just phenomenal, and I thank everyone for coming and joining and supporting Cynthia. Great questions. I don't think that there's anything else, but we would love for you to continue to participate and write your book right now, and let us know if you're writing a book, or if you, right? I know Aneezer, you just finished, I think, right?
Aneezer, what is the title of your book?
Surface Deep, The Evolution of You.
Oh, sounds wonderful. Is it on Amazon?
Yes, it is on Amazon. You can just search Surface Deep. Karen knows that I am very technically illiterate. I was trying to find the link so I could just, and also you can, on Zulon Press, which is the publisher I used, you can search it, Surface Deep, or my name, Aneezer Lane, and it should pop up and you can order it from there as well.
Well, congratulations.
And Barnes and Noble. So, yes.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yes. I'll show you. I keep it handy.
Oh.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Have it in hardback and paperback. So
Wow, that's fantastic.
yes. I'm excited.
I'm not sorry I have dogs, but I'm sorry I have barking dogs right now. But Lady E, this has been a project, well, for many, many, many years. And she's been part of the Write Your Book Right Now group to get inspired by people like you, Cynthia, that she can do it. And she did it.
She did it. So we're gonna
Yes.
have Aneezer speak next year.
Yes. Yep.
Awesome.
All right, well, we're gonna go ahead and let you guys get back to your day. And Cynthia, we want to thank you for sharing your brilliance and sharing what you have. And did you say that you said no more books and then you were ready for another book?
Yes.
I love how we say we are not like, I was never going to publish another magazine and then whoops.
There you go.
Yes, yes.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me to speak today. This was such a joy. I really appreciate it. And thank you to my friends and family and all of you new friends for being on the call today. I really appreciate it.
It's excellent
you.
presentation. Thank
And
you.
Thank you.
Karen is going
Thank you.
to stop the